I'm here with Megan Owens, a new member of NSH, who is interested in doing her part to grow the histology profession. So, Megan, do you want to start us off by telling us a little bit about who you are and how you got into the histology profession?
I have been in histology for 10 years. I got into it because my parents really hated their jobs. So they really pushed my siblings and I to find something that we were really passionate about and would really like for many years to come. And when I was looking for schools to go to for colleges, one of the things that the governor did was they sent out a thing for like the SEED program, and the SEED program was something you could apply to. It really got you into go to schools for like a 2-year program. So you'd end up with an associate's degree, and the state paid for you to get your associate's degree. All you had to do was pay for books. So
Oh,
I
wow.
got in. I got into that program, and I don't know if New Hampshire or any other states still. I don't even know if Delaware still has that, but I thought that was really awesome because sometimes school can add up. So I went to from Delaware, and I went to Delaware Tech, and Del Tech, they have a program where you can go in and see all the professions that they offer in the medical field, which was super awesome. So I originally went in looking to be in radiology. And when I was going through the tables with my mom, since everyone knows what radiology is, of course, that table has 9,000 people trying to talk to the people at the table. And I was like, I don't really want to wait in a line. So my mom was like, oh, no, we'll just keep on walking. We can, circle back. And I came across the histology table and I immediately fell in love. They had some organs on the table and wrapped up in bags and everything. And I thought it was just the best thing ever. So I looked into it more, and I actually got to go and sit in on one day of work as a histologist. And ever since then, it has been love. It was fantastic. And then after that, I went to school for it. And
And where are you working now?
I work at St. Joe's in Nashua, New Hampshire.
So, speaking of your family, I heard that you got other people in your family interested in histology as well.
Yes, I have an older brother, Brian, and a younger sister, Nikki, and I love histology so much that I got them into it too. So now my brother, he works in research at a hospital in Delaware, and my sister, she just got her HT and she got a job. She's working at a place where they mostly do skins. So
Yeah, you've definitely done your part already just within your family to spread the histology profession, but I know you're also interested in getting even more people interested in histology. So why don't
yeah,
you want to tell us a little bit about your thoughts on that?
I think in order to get people into histology, I also do the ASCP ambassador program. So I think NSH needs something like that, similar to that. That way it encourages people already in the profession to go and talk to, because I got into it in high school. And I think that's where you're really picking where you want to go. And I feel like everyone thinks of the medical field as nurses and doctors, and that's where they have to go. And that's completely not true, because there's so many other professions that you can go to and still be in the medical field. I think we just need to have some sort of ambassador program where we can go hand out pamphlets, talk to kids, have some kind of like a PowerPoint presentation, just to get kids interested, because it is a really interesting profession. There's just so many different avenues you can take with it. I mean, my siblings and I, we all do something different in the field, and I think that is, I mean, you don't even have to really work in histology. You can still go through histology, but you can maintenance the instruments. You can work on like building new like computer things that we need to go through, and like they just did the digital pathology, so you can go into something similar to that and help fix that. It's just a wide field, and then the hours are pretty awesome too. So it's probably the most wonderful thing, because I don't work weekends, I don't work holidays. But if you can work those, you want to work those, then there's a job out there for you for that. So
Yeah, there are a lot of different shifts.
yeah, my sister works second shift because she's not so great in the morning on getting up. So that just works great for her. She can sleep in, then she gets up, she goes to work at like 11 in the morning, and then it just works out. And then overtime, a lot of places will offer overtime if that's your deal. It's very family friendly if that's the route you want to go down. I mean, it has something for everybody. Everyone should be a histologist.
So another thing that you're really interested in is mentorship. So do you have a mentor currently in your position? Did you have a mentor when you were getting into the field?
I currently just stepped into, I've only been a supervisor of histology for like 6 months. So really my, I guess, mentors are my two people, my bosses above me, and where they are fantastic. Sometimes maybe just having someone already in the histology field would be really awesome. That way, it's more geared towards histology and I'm not afraid like I'm missing something because, they're more main lab. They've been through blood bank and all the other departments, and, histology is kind of like the black sheep of the lab. So it would have been really nice to have somebody there to help guide me on things so I make sure I'm not missing anything. So that is a worry of mine, that I might be missing something. So if I had a mentor, I feel like it'd be awesome. So if we had a mentorship program, that would be ideal. Also, if we could mentor students after we go to these students and talk to them, to have a way to, keep in touch with them and let them know, like, I can help you. I'm here. I've been through it. Just to keep in touch with them to make sure they're still interested. So we can, because I can say I'm interested, and then 2 weeks later, they're high school kids. They might their minds. Just someone there to be like, oh, you know what, oh, there's this summer internship and all this stuff. So I used to work in Lowell, and every summer they had their juniors write essays, and then they picked, like, the top like 30 essays, and they got to spend a day in each department for a week in the hospital. So they got to spend a day in the lab and see how the lab worked, and they got to go to, the OR, see how the OR worked, and each department through the lab, which was pretty awesome. So I wish more hospitals did something similar to that. Could also probably do like a special projects mentorship, and that could help with, cap inspections or any kind of inspection you have coming up that you might need, because sometimes it's just helpful to bounce ideas off of someone, and then someone go, oh, did you sign off on those random charts that you may have forgotten about? Starting up immunos, validating immunos or specials, sometimes that can get a little complicated if you have to make them up. It's kind of like how you guys have the block, just setting up instruments and protocols, something similar to that. But, maybe just someone you can talk on to one-on-one. Some people don't really want to ask questions to an entire group. Sometimes that gets a little
Yeah, it can
nerve-wracking.
be intimidating.
Yeah.
It's good to have someone you can collaborate with, at a phone
Yeah.
call's notice.
Yeah, I just think that would be, if we could get something like that started, that would be really awesome.
Have you made any attempts to do a mentorship program at your current position, at your current lab?
I actually have a meeting tomorrow with one of my bosses to talk about it, because I know my current job, if we have everyone that is up for retirement right now retire, we might have to close our lab, and to me that's heartbreaking. So if we could get someone in there and people see how the lab works and they really enjoy it, because the lab is a fun place, I just think that'd be the best way to combat that.
Yeah, one of the reasons that getting more people into the field right now is so critical is because we are facing such a workforce shortage with all the techs that are retiring right now. Not enough people coming out of histology programs, and just not enough histology programs in general. So you mentioned that you are feeling that workforce shortage in your lab.
Yeah, but even the Del Tech, the school that I went to, when I went through it, they accepted 8 students. My sister went through it probably about like 8 years after I did, and they had lowered how many kids they even accept into the program. So now they only accept 6. So I don't know
Wow.
if
Is that just because they don't have the resources, or they don't, why lower it?
I haven't talked to them to know why. I know that when I went through it, we had 8 spots, but we only filled 7. So
Oh,
I'm not sure if it's just
just not
lack
enough
of
interest.
people. But I just think not a lot of people know what it is. And if we got out there and got people talking about what histology is, my mom, on all of her medical bills, she said at the bottom, they actually explain what pathology is.
Really?
I thought, wow, if they don't even know what pathology is, there's no way anyone knows what histology is. And then whenever I tell anyone what I do for a job, everyone's like, is that history?
Yep,
Nothing
we get that all the time.
nothing to do with history. Or if you get like spotted out wearing scrubs, everyone just assumes you're a nurse. Like there must just be 10,000 nurses working in a hospital. But there's just no one knows other jobs besides like nurse and a doctor. So we just need to get out there and let people know that there are other jobs.
And how do you think that automation has kind of impacted the workforce shortage, either positively or negatively?
I think it goes both ways. So I know in my brother's lab that they used to do all of their immunos by hand, and they have since got an instrument for IHC. And I mean, that does help, but that could be someone's job of actually sitting there and doing the immunos by hand. I think it does help for places that where I live right now, there's not really a nearby histology school. So for us, it is helpful because there's just not a huge pool of people to pull from. Delaware, they have a school right there. So, they're pumping out histology people every year. But to get them to move away and go somewhere else where there's actually job vacancies, not a lot of places offer you a moving bonus. I know when I moved up here, I didn't get one. So yeah, it
Yeah,
took
I
me
was
a
going
little.
to ask if you
Yeah.
decided to move up there because there was more openings up there.
There are a lot more openings up here, and it's more competitive because we're so close to Boston. So a lot of the
Hmm.
towns or like the cities around Boston are like considered like sleeper cities, and it's just you get paid so much more to work in Boston than closer to your home. So it gets a little tough there. I work right down the street from my house. Like
That's convenient.
I'm a mile away, so I think it's fantastic. But it is a much smaller hospital than if you were to, travel the hour and go to Boston. But a lot of those job vacancies, sometimes they go so long that eventually they end up getting cut from the lab budget, and that's not good. We need to try to keep all those lab hours in the lab, so if we can get people out there and searching for histology jobs, that makes things a lot easier for everybody.
Yeah, because then they just get used to doing more with less people, and then that's a strain on all of the employees.
Yeah, then you're gonna burn out, and nobody wants that. No one wants to get all stressed out at work.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for doing this podcast with us.
Thank you so much.